60 FPS. There we go. Stuart, we're in a different box. It's all different.
Holy crap. It is different.
Above you it says Trekyards comms. Apparently we're at firmware version 2.021. Okay. Cool.
It's Fleetyards time, not Trekyards.
Yeah. How you doing today, Stuart?
I'm so great, it's not even funny.
But if we were to laugh, it'd make you feel even greater, maybe?
Maybe look how handsome this is.
Well, when you point it out, though, people's eyes will burn out like Indiana Jones. You know, you have to let them subtly see.
You think people are gonna melt when they look at me?
Well, once you point out the handsome levels over 9,000. Speaking of,
Right.
has everyone checked out our Disco Prize Simpson 1 Bridge first reaction review today? Much requested. It's funny. We had some people say, "You really going to review 6 frames?" And other people saying, "Review 6 frames now!" And we're like,
We're Trekyards. We specialize on 1 frame. 6 is like, thanks for the frames, motherfuckers. I swore, so what? Deal with it. It's a lie.
So, well, you should say motherfrackers, as we are in that universe today.
That's what I said. That's what I did say.
To be fair, your line did start to go a bit wonky, so let's retcon. Let's do a visual retcon and say you said frackers, not.
I did.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that though. It was actually a fun one to film, looking at the new Disco Prize Enterprise. It's been interesting to read the comments as well.
I have not read the comments yet. I did see it was released, and I just forgot all about it.
Yes. How you guys doing today? The audience out there. Hopefully we'll have a nice live audience today. Talking BSG and Pegasus and Eaglemoss. Because Stuart,
Yes.
do you want to show off the thing we're talking about today? The physical thing we're talking today? Do you want to do a timed reveal in person? Do you have the box right there?
Yeah.
The one at the ship tour?
The box is right here.
Well, or the model, or whichever. Ready?
I do. Yes.
Show it to
Ready?
camera in 3, 2, 1.
Dun, dun, dun. The Pegasus from BSG.
The Beast.
Dun, dun, dun. The Beast. It is named the Beast. Yes.
It's
and
fun.
as you guys can see, I've got all my other Eaglemoss Battlestar Galactica stuff here. Eaglemoss is awesome. You guys too can have these Eaglemoss ships. Just click the link down in the description below, and the mods, of course, will share the link also.
And what I find doubly funny is that when we started Trekyards, you were a very BSG. Like, you've seen a bit, you didn't watch the rest. Yeah, you prefer the original. And here we are doing a BSG episode. And I still remember you being like it's fine. I'm just thinking, you haven't actually watched it properly. Back in the day. Oh.
I'm revitalized on BSG though, because I'm rewatching the originals because I got them on Blu-ray. And I watched the some Pegasus stuff today to get in the mood for this.
So perfect research. You watched the original 70s Pegasus episode in preparation for this Pegasus episode.
I watched that Pegasus episode 3 nights ago, the original one, the part 2-parter, Living Legend.
Pegasus looks identical to Galactica.
Well, it is. It's just one of the Battlestars.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Anyway, but yeah, and then today I was doing some other watching of things for the new Pegasus.
I also actually did some actual research.
Yes.
Nice. So shall I?
I also brushed up on the Adama maneuver just because.
Yeah. It's good sequence. Good sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk to our wonderful fan base while I share to our... Okay. End of that discussion, I guess.
Yeah, you go ahead and share. I will address the 2 super chats we have.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mark Mendel puts in $1. Thank you very much, Mark. And Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Name sounds familiar. Suspiciously familiar. Mother Frackers, like fans of Jonathan Frakes. Ah, the Frakers. Bah, meh, meh, meh. Anyway, guys, yes, we have done a 2-part episode on this beast from Battlestar Galactica on Fleetyards. The admins or the moderators for the chat, they do have the links. They will be sharing them as we talk about it. Plus, we've done a mission briefing style one on the original BSG design, and that will also be shared as well. So, Roberto, you have permission granted to come aboard. You have the Galactica Eaglemoss model, the new one or the old one? Because there's two, and I have them here. We can show them. Dun, dun, dun. I should have been smart, but I'm not. Should have been smart and had the original Battlestar Galactica one out too. So you'd be like, look, I got Pegasus and Pegasus, and no one would know the difference. Look, I just love watching his face when I can't hear him. His reaction to things is hilarious.
Well, I gotta physically act if I can't say things, so I gotta give you some sort of reaction.
I know a lot of times when I'm reading my scripts when we're filming, I can see his reaction. Sometimes it distracts me and makes me screw up because he's like, or as we tend to do, we react to what the other person's saying. But sometimes it catches my eye just in the corner as I'm reading, and it's like, ugh. And I love getting a positive reaction from him. I hate when I'm saying something that I think is really good, and he's like, it's like, oh.
I'm just shaking my head, am I? So sometimes, yes, the deleted scenes, he says something clever, and it's like, the Enterprise D was 400 meters long.
Now my feelings are hurt, and I need a Band-Aid.
Or a self-sting stun bolt to fix your finger.
Strong franchise, my friend. That's Star Trek.
I know I mentioned the Galaxy class.
Ah, that's a good one.
Still linking to...
No, because we're in Battlestar Galactica land. Look around at this wonderful display that we have. It is BSG. Don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so thank you for joining us, guys. 96 people here. That's actually very impressive, considering it's a Battlestar Galactica type of deal. I wasn't sure how many people would get because, yeah. Original Pegasus looks the same as the original Battlestar Galactica ship. Yes, it does. But I just watched that 2-part episode, Living Legend, and it's actually really good. Because the ones before that, a few of them are kind of shit. Because as we know, original Battlestar Galactica only has one season. I am on just starting disc 4 now, so I'm halfway through. And then, of course, it's got Battlestar Galactica 1980, which is sort of like a season 2, but really shit. So anyway, but guys, if you want some of these cool Eaglemoss ships, by all means, like I said, there's a link down below. Eaglemoss is one of our, or we are an affiliate partner of Eaglemoss. So click the link, go check it out. And the moderators are sharing the links to the relative episodes and stuff that you guys can watch after the live as well. So by all means, go do that. That room looks like Starfleet to me. Which one? Samuel's? Yes.
Well, I can't change the whole room for a
you
show.
Should. Oh. Should. It's called a green screen, my friend. I'm telling you about green screen. That's funny.
No.
Well, this was Samuel's idea to do this episode, so I know he's a huge fan of the Beast,
yes.
And not me. You know, that's my nickname too. But you were talking about the Pegasus, and yeah. So
yeah, well, it's funny because I've also, you know, Stuart gets, you know, I've got a slightly different legacy with Eaglemoss, but I do get some of the stuff as well to review. And Battlestar Galactica Collection is one of the things I get because it's just really expensive and I can't afford it otherwise, but I really like the ships. And we've already done a couple of pieces on them with the Silent Raider. I believe we did the other Viper as well, the Mark II, as part of episodes. So you can go in and check those out, guys. And so I was very eager. Literally, when they did the Star Trek collection, there was, you know, a poll a long time ago saying, which other sci-fi shows would you want to do? I guess BSG won because BSG got the next license. Well, they got the license for it. And instantly, as soon as you say BSG model collection, most people would want the Galactica. I'm already skipping all the way down to, I want Pegasus. That's the one I want. I don't really care about anything else particularly. I mean, Viper's obviously amazing, but Pegasus
Speaking
Yes.
Speaking of, not wanting anything else amazing. This is next one.
Yeah.
The original Cylon Raider, which I must possess.
Yes.
I deliberately do not have the new Viper or the new Cylon Raider because they're shit. Sorry. Anyway, continue your story.
I do have the new Viper, actually. It's very light. It's really nice, but it's very light. Yeah, and so...
The Mark 9?
Yeah, the Mark 9.
Yeah, because the Mark 2 is good. I got the Mark 2, but...
Yeah, I'm missing the classic Viper. So I knew it was coming, obviously. They picked their sets, which they're going to do, and it was going to be the everything else first. This one's obviously, very, very detailed. It was more detailed than most of the other ones just because it's that... I mean, this was like a step above in terms of VFX quality. Because I wanted to present a really big, cool ship. And then I saw the prototype of this at Destination London or Destination Birmingham in October when I met the Discovery cast and such, and I was just blown away by finally seeing it. And then finally came out, and I am absolutely thrilled with this miniature. There's not many ships I'd have on my desk. The Enterprise is obviously one, but this is absolutely another. I think it's just there's nothing wrong with it at all. And I know the ship quite well because I've played with the CG one and done obviously shots for our episode, which was tremendous. And it's just this is just the right size, just the right proportions. Like some of the other ones, like the BSG Galactica, I feel is a bit too. It's like the Intrepid class XL. It's not quite long enough for the scale because it's a long ship without much width. This one has the bulk that it feels right in proportion for the scale. Like the Vipers feel absolutely incredible because they're so massive for the scale. It's like, holy hell, that's a lot of awesome detail. This one I think is right in that balance. So I'm absolutely thrilled. And I was going to do a video with the wonderful audience out there just talking about this for myself. And then I just said to Stuart, or you said, I got it too. And I'm like, well, let's do a video about it. And then we talking to you all about it. So this is kind of my gushing about Pegasus episode. And you can talk to me about it too, because you've got it too. And I'm going to see if I can do the second Skype video thing so we can show it off too.
Well, while you're doing that, guys, I have done reviews on the Viper Mark II from Eaglemoss. I've done an Eaglemoss review on it. The TOS Viper, which is fantastic. This model is one of the best Eaglemoss models I've ever gotten. I love the original Viper, and this model is superb. You know what I'm saying? I've also done one on the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, but I just got Pegasus and the original Battlestar Galactica, so those reviews still have to come. But the other ones I have done reviews on. I didn't give the links to the mods, but I'm sure they can find it. So check those out.
Yes.
But yeah, this has more of an original Battlestar Galactica vibe to it, to be perfectly fair, because it's got the 3 struts, or the 3 connecting points, just like the original Battlestar Galactica does. It's got the more beefed up back section.
Grab the tripod
so
so I can mount the other camera.
Okay, so this has more of a original Battlestar Galactica vibe for me as far as profile and stuff goes. But yeah, so the Pegasus is really nice in that regard because it does hold true to the original Battlestar much more so than I think the reimagined Battlestar Galactica does.
But we talked to one of the designers on the show and we learned that interesting story, and so you'll hear about that very soon, guys. There's a reason for that. It's very much more like the Discovery approach, which is don't do this, and whereas this point it was like, yeah, we'll just do it. But Stuart, I mean, I have no problems in saying this is a far better design than the 70s Galactica. Aesthetically, functionally, proportionally, design, it beats it in every respect for me. I'm just a big sucker for this design, but it just feels so much better in proportion to me than the 70s. But yeah, it feels better than the imagined. Like it takes the better parts of the 70s and uses it to make an even better design. Hands down for me.
Okay. I love the original Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, I agree.
Oh, I thought you were going to fight me on that for the next half hour.
No. I'm actually going to pull up my original Battlestar.
Yeah, whip it out. What would that one be called? If this one's the Beast and the other one's the Bucket, what would the 70s one be called, do you think, if it had like a...
The Beauty.
No, it'd be the...
Oh, listen to this. No.
The Thimble. It's so thin.
It's shite. It's gob shite.
Nah, it's not that bad. Alright, let's see if
you don't like it. You just shut up.
It's not I don't like it.
Shut the frack up.
Just...
You don't like it. You just like it's 1970s. It looks disgusting.
Stuart, I'm
I know how it
I'm
is.
not Discovery people that say the TOS is the old 60s and no one should have it.
See, here's the original, and here's the Beast. You can see the similarities in the designs. I mean, I could compare the original Battlestar to the reimagined one, but here's the original one as well from Eaglemoss. This thing is great.
Hella
I used to,
detailed.
when I was a kid and used to watch Battlestar Galactica on TV, I had Battlestar Galactica made out of Lego.
Yes, me too.
And you know how every time the Cylons attack, you see the fires all over it?
Yes.
You know, I used to have like, little candy wrappers that were like
Yeah.
gold and silver that I would put in the Lego pieces so it looked like it was on fire because they glitter. Yeah, I did that. I was a nerd.
Stuart,
But,
I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh, we got some super chats. Hold on. Super Coops puts in £2. Good idea, Commander. BSG is awesome. So say we all. So
Yes,
say we all.
do.
Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Is Kit actually a refurbished Cylon?
Yeah.
Sorry, had to. I mean, you know what? Could be. By the way, that's something else that's better in the original one is the Cylons. The Cylon designs in the original one are awesome. The new Cylons are shit.
Well, the thing is, they're very different. It's a completely different approach. So I don't think they're comparable in the same way, because one is a dude in a suit, one's a robot killing machine. You know what I mean? They're a different approach. Like
But the dude in the suit looks so cool. It was designed by Andrew Probert, man. With the
No, sure. But, one robot dude would kill 1,000, well, kill 10 other guys in terms of, guns and maneuverability and all those things.
How dare you? You know what else is better in the original? Starbuck. You know why? 'Cause Starbuck was not a chick, and it wasn't Katie Sackhoff, because I can't stand Katie Sackhoff.
And I'm the exact opposite. Couldn't care less. Didn't see the original enough. Didn't care. Literally didn't even that controversy didn't even occur to me because I just didn't care enough.
That's why I didn't watch the show.
That sounds just so like.
If you know the original Starbuck character, you'll be like the same way because it's like.
Well, I know him enough. I mean, I've seen several episodes, but it's just
But that's why I didn't watch the show because he was my favorite character, and that was just a slap in the face. And then Boomer too. Let's make him a girl too.
But everything's so integrated into the plot though. It's not as if it's nothing's for the sake of it. Everything is super. They worked out all the new dynamics. Also, what do you think of the live? Am I doing this?
This looks cool. Yeah. Wish he had like a black background though, but.
I really
Other
don't.
than that, it's good.
Good way of showing it off.
Yes. Ian Smith puts in $4.99. Will Fleetyards last more in the future if you have to pick only one, which is the one Eaglemoss BSG to get? Well, Sam is going to say Pegasus.
Yeah, I mean, the Vipers are really good, but they're more because the hulls are so sleek that they don't feel as detailed, even though they feel very real. The detail on this is glorious. Although the 70s detail is stupidly good too, but it's just a more boring model.
Yes.
Is all. Yeah.
Do you have the original one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Got the same.
I would say if you're going to get, and if you weren't going to get a Battlestar, yes, get the Pegasus. I'll even say that it's better than the original. But if you're going to get one Battlestar Galactica model from Eaglemoss, I would say the TOS original series Viper is the far superior product. Not just because the design is superior to anything they had in the new show, but because the model is absolutely fantastic. And if you watch my Eaglemoss review on it, you will see all the detail and hear all the goodness.
Yes. And I will say that both of these beat out the original Galactica miniature. While it's nice, I would prefer, I think, actually getting the post or the war version with all the armor, because having all the ribs, it sort of it means that it's all very sort of samey, and you sort of feel like there's holes, and I don't know. Again, they're not quite as good a scale, I think, for the miniature. It should be slightly bigger. It's just.
For which one?
The modern Galactica. Just it doesn't quite have the same punch. It's too thin, too stout. It should be 20% longer, and then I think it'd be a nice meaty model. But this size, I don't think it works as well as the other ones, in my opinion. I was a little bit disappointed, honestly, when I had it.
This is where it's at, guys. This is a beautiful model, just so you know. But
You need to get like a third-party cockpit extension so you can put people in the cockpit.
yeah, well, that's the funny thing because like I said, I was just rewatching it, and in the first movie, Adama's like, "Well, Apollo, I'll just go down with the planet with you," and you see a goddamn Viper, and it's like, where did he fit? He was supposed to be in the Viper with Apollo. It's not like in Battle or Buck Rogers where they had like the Thunder fighter could hold more than one person depending on which one you're using. There's only one style of Viper,
Yeah.
so
No
it was
Raptors.
something I had to complain about. They didn't make a big scene of having just the one Viper, but it was still like, ugh.
Yeah. You know, logic and all that. And the
Yes.
nice thing about the Viper concept is that it is an engine with people in front of it. You know, it's raw
And weapons
power.
attached, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a
Yep.
You know, very similar to but in a very sleek way compared to the Babylon 5 ship, which is again engine power with a dude. Obviously, one is more elegant than the other. One is probably more functional. You know, but
What are those Battlestars doing to each other?
I don't know.
Are they making baby Battlestars?
Yeah, I guess. I will say I'm very excited for the Raptor to come out because that's a really nice 3D model, and again the scale works really well. I think 'cause it'll be nice, big, bulky.
Well, there's
that'd be good. I think.
the Raptor. The Raptor's coming out. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm sure they're all gonna come out. You know, I mean.
Oh.
You know, they can't. They can't not do them all. I mean, if the next one's. I mean, the Raptor's still so core. I mean, once you hit a certain point, there isn't as many. You get diminishing returns. There's only about 8 really famous ships. You know, the TOS. Well, you got 2 different TOS Vipers, Raiders. You got the original 70s Raider, and you got the Pierre Droulet 70s Visual Update Raider, both which they could use separately. And then you've got obviously the Raptor, but you wouldn't do necessarily Assault Raptor. You got Wild Weasel Raptor. But beyond that, all you really have is the President's ship, and then you have everything else. But all the fleet ships, you know, the less featured they are, the less detail they are, and some of them are just, you know, freighters. It's like, are we going to spend £50 on a freighter? It's like that's not.
Well, yeah. No, there are. I'd like to see Air Force One or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, Colonial One.
Colonial One, that's the one. And also, in the original one, there's one called Galactic Movers. We move anywhere, is what it says on the side. So I thought that was hilarious. You could do those. I mean, whatever.
But I think now I've got Pegasus. The Raptor's the only one I'm really eager to get left as a. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the design, but the original shuttle that they use, which for varying quite a few people, it's kind of bulky and ugly, but I would, as part of the collection, it's one I would want. I'm not a huge fan of the design, but just to have the original shuttle design would be neat.
I mean, it was used in season 1, and then a remastered version was then put in the rest of the season. So it's both canon to both eras, or fake eras, and yeah.
Mark Mendel puts in $2. Control created the Cylons.
Yeah,
that's a secret. That's a secret. We don't find that out till next week. Not this week. Next week is when that's revealed.
I wonder if Eaglemoss will do the 2000 Cylon base star. Yep, it's already prototyped. That's right.
Which
around.
one? The new one?
Yeah, the pointy one.
Ooh, yeah, ugly. I gotta get the original one.
So yeah, that's out already, isn't it? Actually.
Base star? No, I don't think so. Now you got me wondering. Good.
I think
I'll take a look in a second. I need a drink.
I think it is actually. I know I've seen it, but obviously I see things ahead of time. Yeah, you can buy it $69.99 from eBay resale. Yeah, there you go. It was issue number 5, so it was the one before the Mark 7 Viper, the one after your TOS Viper.
Well, I'm annoyed now at our Eaglemoss representative.
Well, you gotta, yeah, and that's actually Rob Bonchoon's model that he custom made for Razor our good friend of the channel, Rob Bonshun. It was an up-detailed for its appearance in Blood and Chrome, but it's still very beautifully done for Razor. Although, it's funny, if you actually look at the design, really, it's just the same segment 6 times flipped upside down with some slight internal detailing. So it's kind of, you get wonderful returns from it if you really detail the one segment and then carefully do cloning and stuff.
You know what? I could go without that one. I mean, I'm looking at it now, and it's like, kind of,
But it's the design, though. I mean, what's about it?
I don't know. It's just kind of boring.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I don't need it, is what I'm saying.
Oh. But you were so excited, like, 12 seconds earlier.
You know what? I was, but that's 12 seconds ago. A lot happens in my life in 12 seconds. I'm getting older.
I mean, you start, and you finish, and you walk away. 12 seconds.
Shut up. Oh, I'm sad I can't use the discount Trekyards discount code on my order for Pegasus. No, you can't use it on certain lines like the Discovery line of ships, the Battlestar Galactica, the shop exclusives, or the XLs. Well, the regular Star Trek ships you can use the Trekyards code on, which is sad. But it's a good code. It's 15% off orders of $50 or more. And it used to be 10% off orders of $60 or more, but they moved us up.
And it'd be nice if they did things with Galactica lines, but technically we're Trek web series, so I guess they're...
Well, we have Fleetyards. I mean, we should talk to them about it.
Yeah.
But I think with the specialist lines, though, like this one, they don't give many discounts at all.
Yeah.
So
I think they're much more... I mean, the fact they're so much more expensive, I think they are not necessarily pinching the pennies, but I think they need to actually earn what they earn for them.
Yeah. Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Oh. Was the original Starbucks logo male? I'm silly. Original Starbucks logo?
I think it just means person.
No, I think he means Starbucks, like the coffee place.
That's hilarious.
Ah, that is funny. I just got that. Yes, they should have had like a Starbucks coffee place in the remastered BSG that had like a guy as their logo on the cup. That would have been hilarious.
Sure. So yeah, the Pegasus has dual flight pods.
Yeah, and they are cool. I did have a question for you about that.
Sure.
Is there like messed up grav plating so that they can land upside down in the bottom pod, or?
Yep.
Because really, that's cool.
Yep. If you look at the perspective, it's exact norm perspective, and then you just fly in, and then there's bits in the middle that swap the gravity round, and you
That's cool. It's also efficient. Cool because the Battlestar Pegasus, the launch bays or the landing bays, I guess. The original Battlestar Galactica, you can't see through them.
Yes,
they're solid.
Either of them, yeah. Which is weird because they're actually uber comparable in size. They're only slightly bigger, but I guess they're thicker though. They are thicker, and obviously you need the structural integrity to survive. And as you can see, they are reasonable big, thicker.
Yeah, I was talking about the original 70s.
I'm surprised they weren't. I'm surprised they weren't see-throughable. I will absolutely be honest.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Huh.
And guys, just if you're BSG fans, you probably are if you're here. At the end of the month when I go down to Starfest, I'm staying at my buddy Cliff Simmons' place, and he made a huge Battlestar Odysseus, which is like bigger than the Pegasus, but it's like a huge scale model, and we want to kind of do like a live Fleetyards thing talking about it, because he had it at Wonderfest a few years ago, and it's beautiful. It's lit and everything. So stay tuned for that at the end of the month kind of thing. We might do a live. I don't know what we're doing yet, but something to look forward to if you're a BSG fan.
Nice.
Caleb Horn puts in $2. I think they'll do Adama First Command, the Valkyrie.
Yes. I mean, we talked to Pierre about the model, and it's a really nice model.
I gotta look that up. I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry, I'm not huge on the new BSG.
Well, it was only in one flashback, but Pierre kind of went over the top with the build.
As he does, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's the sort of guy that you want every one of your shows, honestly, because he'll go above and beyond. Like, he's in it for the art, So you give him the paycheck each month, and then he'll just sort of keep doing cool things.
That is a cool design.
Mm-hmm.
This is it, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is neat.
It's like it's a sleeker, thinner, smaller. It's the one where he actually got to design it himself from scratch, so I was quite proud of it. The Galactic, obviously, that was someone else, and he also only built little bits of it. Pegasus, I don't even think he built, so it was his Battlestar baby. Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Fish 2000. Really glad to see Fleetyards back. I'm not big on Discovery, but I stayed around for episodes like this. Thank you very much for making it worthwhile. Well, wouldn't say back. You guys didn't watch it really last season, so it's not a show that we can necessarily bring back again with the poor support. And the problem is, once you've done all the ships that are most popular, you can't, do them again. So it's kind of a... I'm surprised, like, we did the Batman build, which I thought was pretty fun, but again, pretty poorly viewed, so, yeah, we'll see. We've got other cool plans to make something Fleetyards based. We don't just want to be Trek, but, I think the Fleetyards heyday is probably behind us, as we did some really cool first ones. But that's okay. Got some cool guest stuff coming up. Well, Fleetyards guest stuff, certainly our heyday for that's coming right up.
I wouldn't say that Fleetyards is dead. Let's put it that way. No, it'll still be around, and we might do the odd special and do some cool stuff, but we really need to get the views in there to help that out. But
yeah, not as the weekly thing. But I'm very proud of our catalog. There's some really good ships, really good discussions. Really happy with them, and something brought. I'm happy brought because like ooh. So did you... Okay, let's talk about Pegasus specifically from the show then. And guys, please do Super Chat, because we do these lives to talk to you guys, have the conversation, and also Super Chat to support the show, because we sort of need a certain amount of money each week to keep going, and these things are kind of essential. So, whichever. And if you're a fan of Pegasus, you want to... raise the ceiling with the words. So for a buck, you can raise the ceiling. So did you actually get to the Pegasus episodes in your first run-through watch of BSG?
Nope.
Okay. So have you actually seen her in action?
Nope.
Wow. That's cool.
I saw her introduction, so I'm kind of saving that for when I get there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, that's great, actually. That's really fun, because it's such a journey with this ship, Really ups the scale of the show, and then... things happen, and those get smaller again. But I think the heyday of the show is kind of a season 2. They had some really good stories when it was more established. You had Pegasus, you had both, you had a bigger fleet, you had I don't quite like the time skip personally, but so when did you first see the Pegasus design then, or was it kind of when I brought it to you for Fleetyards and such?
Yeah, it was when you brought it to me for Fleetyards.
Oh.
I was impressed because I remember Pegasus from the original one.
Yeah.
I thought it was bigger than Galactica, but
yes, I'm just saying that.
Just having watched the episode again, there's no reference to that at all. It's basically the exact same. So, but yeah, it was kind of like a retcon in my memory, because when you said this one was bigger, I'm like, oh, well, the other one must have been bigger too. But is Captain Foley watching the newer series? I will.
We'll have to watch some together as well. It'll be fun. Because I've got all the Blu-rays. Fun too. Because that'd be a great show to review, because I've seen it all, and to get your first reaction. I mean, that could even be a... Well, again, I need people to donate in Super Chats, but that'd be a fun review show, because, somebody's actually watched the entire show, and so you can give your review, and I can be like, I agree. Yeah. It'd be kind of fun. And D. Gordon, so no chance of the Emperor-class battleship from 40k Fleetyards review. Well, we still do commission Fleetyards. I know we've got one that we've got on the production line, so you can still donate via the PayPal, via emailing trekyards@hotmail.com, and you can still get specials made, because then, the problem of them not earning any money to support the channel kind of goes away. So, if you have a ship specifically for Fleetyards, then let us know.
Yes.
But yeah, Pegasus is a. Oh, sorry, Stuart, you jump in. You talk about something.
Something.
Yes.
So Pegasus has like factories to build other Vipers, I assume. Right? Wasn't that a thing that we talked about?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I wasn't sure.
it's designed to be a self-contained thing, which is also great that the Galactica herself, which is a museum at that point, whose only working Vipers were sent home, and then its only new working Vipers were ones in the museum. Oops, they've luckily managed to fix. Pegasus, totally active thing, and it is the biggest class in the fleet, and so it was designed to have the most functionality of the fleet. That's why it is a one band production house, and it has, each pod. Well, it shoots Vipers out between two pods. I think we worked out. I think it hasn't got, because we literally counted them on the models. Again, please go watch the Fleetyards episode. But I think Galactica has like 30 tubes at launch Vipers, but Pegasus only has, it doesn't have double, you'd assume, because of double pods, but because Galactica's pods actually stretch out, like, they're more spread out on it. I'm not explaining well, I apologise, we do it in the show, it's been a while, but it's only got like 50, I say only, so it's not a massive jump in that comparison, it's internal stuff, so yeah, they can build new parts, and that's why, the sense of all we have is this gets a little bit more forgiven in season 2 when Pegasus arrives, because they can now actually make parts, and yes, it takes more materials, but it's difficult.
Now, how many episodes is this thing in then? Because the original, it was like a two-parter where Pegasus came back and you saw Kane, and is it a few more episodes in the new one, or is it just a two-parter again?
More than a season. It's a whole thing. It was actually intended to be just part of the fleet. It's you get used to it, which is the best thing, and then bad things happen, but you get used to it, and it does a lot. And there's a whole movie with it, Razor, which is such a really good movie. It's a full character for a long time, so much so that they build multiple sets. You get to learn quite a lot of the crew.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's always funny where in those sorts of scenes where Pegasus beats out Galactica in every respect, and yet Galactica's still the flagship. It's like, but our big brother here can literally destroy everyone. It's like,
that's Galactica's the brains, and then Pegasus is the big bodyguard behind him. That's the muscle. That's the way I see that going. Just because you're the biggest doesn't mean you're the leader. You're just sent out to do the dirty work. Jeff Jacobs puts in $3 and says, "I will go again at 100 likes. Make me pay." Oh, Jeff, you're crazy. But yes, let's get to 100 likes. We've got 144 people watching. Let's try to ratchet that up. Now, Caleb Horn puts in $5. You can unlock this in the Deadlock game. You can play all three. I haven't gotten that far, but I'm looking to it. Minerva class Battlestar in the game. Minerva class. That's something else I got to look up now. And what game is Deadlock? Can I download that? Minerva class. Have you played the game?
Some. It was one of the few I actually pre-ordered because I wanted to play it straight away. But it's not clunky. Or again, at the start, it wasn't so much clunky as, well. First of all, episode mission 5, I lost a ship in mission 4 that made mission 5 impossible to complete. Just the fact that you can't build ships quick enough to make it a fightable fight, and so I had to restart the game and I had a bug, so I haven't really gone back to it much. It takes longer than I'd like to play, a little bit longer than I'd like. If it was more of a Sins of Solar Empire, then that'd be better, because I really enjoyed that sort of quick combat. But it's good.
What kind of style is it though? Like Armada 2 style, or
no? It's turn based. So say everyone comes in, right, and then you get control of one ship at a time, and then you have a certain length of distance you can travel, up, down, forward, back. The more you turn, the less you can travel. Or you can put on bonus speed to go a bit further, but you get less armaments and you get power to each system. So you set all different courses for all different ships. And actually you need to go up and down because you can crash into ships really easily. And you can literally lose ships just by, they're on the same plane. So everything's 3D. And each gun has their own unique firing arc. So just by being too high, you can lose the ability to shoot certain arcs. And so it's always better to have Battlestars be lower and such. So it's very tactical and the turn-based. But it's quite a slow start. Again, I played it close to launch. I never played the Mercury. I'd actually love to play Mercury in it. That'd be really fun. And it's great because there's instant story with the Galactica herself, because it takes place during the first Cylon War, but kind of like mostly canon, but a kind of a weird hybridized thing. Like you see a mod like the full War Galactica, although it's sort of a bit different, but mostly the same. But you also see the original 70s Galactica as a separate Galactica class in the game, because why not? And lots of Viper variants. It's,
I might have to download that on Steam then, because that sounds pretty interesting. Actually, I didn't even know that was a thing either. Goodness gracious me!
I was really excited when it came out, because it'll appease people like you as well, because like you can use the older Vipers, and although the Cylons I find aren't as well done, because the ships, because really if you look at the Cylons, all you have is Base Star, Raider, and then the new version, Base Star, Raider, a ship I won't spoil for you. So they've kind of had the caveat in the first Cylon War that, you know, they're not building their own ships really, they're conquering other human ships. They're all like stolen, hybridized weird ships that don't quite, you know, you sort of want to play against the classic stuff a little bit. But I should probably re-download that to see what the new expansions are, because I know it's been improved a lot in the last couple of years.
It's been up for years. That's great.
Well, like a year and a half. It's more than a year. It's not new. And like I say, I played it really early on, so I'm kind of... Yeah, let me find it again. Where is it?
Oh, did you unlock the Pegasus?
No.
In the game?
I got not close. No.
Okay.
No. Oh.
But that's incentive for you to play, though, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Philip Ingram puts in €5.
Ooh,
thank you very much. Stuart, you really need to be up to speed, mate. We all love Trek, but BSG reboot is seriously beautiful, and the Pegasus a fistful of beauty. I get it. I've seen, I think, all of season 1 now. I can't. There's a few things about it I can't stand, but I'll get used to it. The shaky cam is one. The shaky cam makes me sick sometimes. It's really bad. But yeah, the storyline's great. The characters are awesome. The way that it honors the original and uses older designs to be older models of ships, things like that, is beautiful. That's how you do it. That's how you reboot something and do that nice homage to the original without totally shitting all over it. So yeah, it's fantastic that way. And I do need to watch them. I know this. I also need to finish watching Babylon 5 and a few other things, but just so much going on in my life, and busyness and family and everything else. Just don't have time to do it. And
this little thing called Trekyards.
Well, that too. And there's other things on the watch list that kind of get bumped up and get watched first. And I know I should go back. I need to carve out some time every night to kind of, instead of watching YouTube, watch an episode or two of some of these. But
yeah, it's funny. I got the Blu-rays, and obviously I only ever watched BSG on when it came out. We didn't even have a flat screen in the main room, so I was on a big CRT, big TV, standard def, already 10 years old at that point. So I watched it in glorious SD, letterboxed 4:3 or something like that. And so when I actually got Blu-rays for Christmas last year, I put them in. There's way more grain than I thought. They really wanted that grit, and you can sort of feel it in the main, in the SD versions. But it's so grainy, kind of ridiculously grainy. It looks like old film stock, which was the intention, but they really pushed it up. And then if you then watch the VFX are then grained to the nth degree, because they've got to match the reel. And so as someone who makes VFX knows how these models look, it's kind of amazing to see some of the shots like, oh, that shot really is, that's grainy. Jesus. It's all added in post. So that's one thing that you'll notice when it's huge, especially some of the darker scenes. It's like, this scene's half grain. Just I noticed in the high def version. But I want to rewatch it certainly at some point. Oh.
Well, Ian Smith puts in $1.99. Like Pegasus in the show, didn't like the movie so much.
I thought the movie was great, fun premise, and just seeing her more was always good. There's a great battle. There's a battle of how she survives, and originally the VFX team was only going to do like 5 shots, and they managed to like talk them into budget and also did it overtime. They made like a 35 shot sequence, and it's absolutely incredible. It holds up today, but the explosions are so visceral, and they sort of went absolutely overboard, and think they got like some awards for it actually. just for passion and love, you know, 'cause it's a good sequence. It's like the most epic battle of the show in the movie.
Now, are the movies separate, or are they part of the run of the series? Like, are they episodes
Good question.
broken up, or?
Good question. Raise is a little bit weird. It was made in between seasons, so it's counted as part of season 3, I believe, or it's like the bonus 2 episodes of end of season 1. Although it's actually a DVD movie. They reutilised sets and built new sets. It's actually just a standalone movie in between seasons, but it's kind of also part of the season in its own way. But it's both a flashback and a present day story that kind of gives some deeper stuff. But it's its own standalone. You could just watch it by itself and it explains everything. The second movie is The Plan, which was filmed after the show, as the show was finishing, and it was a superbly smart film directed by Adama himself, Edward James Olmos. He directed it, and they basically, it's from the Cylons perspective, and they go back to before the first episode, and they experience all of the season again from their perspective. But as far as I could see, they used new takes of old scenes. So even though you're watching some old scenes again, and you see clips before and after they film new, it feels all new, and it's a wonderful, like, it's a great thing to watch right at the end because it just links so many things together. And the third movie is Blood and Chrome, which I think you saw, which is the prequel, let's try and make a new thing, which is very good too, although not as good.
Well, I do have something up in my DVD selection called Caprica, which I got for like $5 in a bin. I think it's the whole season or series. I don't know how long it was, but I'd have to go take a look.
It's one season. It's the great letdown. It took the least interesting bits of BSG and made a show out of them, and removed all the best bits of BSG, and just didn't do them. And it's like, oh, that was your idea, was it?
Okay, well, I have that.
It's probably a really great binge show. You know what I mean? Just watch it done. But, it's like, oh, that's what you did? Cool. Needed more Pegasus.
All right, well. Yes.
Oh, and someone asked how much for a Fleetyards special. It totally depends on what you want to get in that special, from full episode to small episode, two-parter. It's all depend on budget and how much you want to support the show. So please email trekyards@hotmail.com and let us know, because we'll even redo older episodes with new renders you've got, new pictures, analyze this to this, or I want to see BSG ships compared to Star Wars ships. Make an episode on that. All that stuff is fine, because as long as you support the show costs, then all that. I mean, we always do the donations towards shows into things that actually support the show. So I know we're doing really cool things this year, and that budget goes right into stuff, and it really makes this year a bit easier for us. So yes.
Tom Zaros 48. Okay, $10 Canadian. Thank you very much for the super chat. Love the Beast. Is that function-wise, it's a bit similar to my USS Torquemada in the Trekyards original that I'm planning to start with you guys soon. Shameless plug. Now
is that... Yes, that's the one that launches Defiance. Yes. I've been sent the mod.
I remember that.
It's a cool ship. I'm excited to see it in motion. I say that as I'm the one going to make it in motion, but
Don't give too much away. Spoilers.
Didn't even know it launches Defiance till Barry showed me. I'm like, oh, okay. No, it's cool. Although, there's that picture flying around of the Battlestar Star Trek. What do you think of the as if the Galactica was made by Star Trek? I'm sure you've seen that picture before.
Yes. Meh. I mean, it's kind of cool. But you don't cross the genres. I guess it's the same genre. It's sci-fi, but I don't know. I mean, it's a design that you can reconfigure into any sci-fi franchise, I think. It basically looks like the Daedalus from Stargate, kind of. They kind of used same kind of design ideas for that. We got the pods on the side, and I don't know.
Well,
That's kind of the vibe that I get from it.
Well, the
So
thing
you
about
can.
well,
Yeah. I don't know.
thing about Deadlifts is really is just two warehouses connected to a middle bit. You know, I mean, it's just you know what I mean? It's just hangers. There's not so much you can do with it. Whereas the Vipers, they went for aesthetics, and the Galacticas, Battlestar, but also you've got functional things like turrets and all these things on that actually have a double functional point to them. You know, whereas Daedalus is very much just like, yep, those are our hangars. They hang the ships. But I'm not really a fan of that one. The Star Trek Galactica, I think it just looks too forced. You know, every time I see it, I'm not really a fan of that one. There's ways you could definitely do a cool ship, but it's like sometimes you should leave really classical things as they are. You don't, I mean, obviously you never need to do everything. It's all for fan's sake, but do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like
yes, I do.
It's like Back to the Future. You just don't need to do a remake. You just don't. Those three are definitive. If you want to do another film series with a different DeLorean and different characters, sure. Another genius 50 years later found the plans to the DeLorean that Doc left, has more adventures. That could be fun. Spiritual sequel in the same universe, but don't remake it. The story's been told perfectly. It's like Ghostbusters 1. It's basically perfect. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like kind of a cool idea. They find Doc's time plans and do another thing. And imagine with today's budget, you could go, to Jurassic Park. As in just the past.
But they can't find a DeLorean, so they've got to screw sheets of stainless steel onto a different car, because the stainless steel construction is helps the flux dispersion and stuff. So they need stainless steel. So drilling stainless steel plates onto a Lamborghini body. It's ugh. That'd be cool.
Or the Batmobile. He's already got a Batmobile and he's a flux capacitor. Double the franchise there.
Yeah. Philip Ingram puts in €5. Thanks, mate, for,
Thank
as
you.
usual, hitting the nail on the head. Cinema visuals on TV. Dun, dun, dun. And Supercoops puts in £2. Cap,
Thank you.
don't watch Caprica. Trust me, it's disappointing. It's one that I'll save until after I've watched the rest. I think that's kind of the intention of it. But yeah, I got a lot to catch up on. Damn. But I'm really enjoying my rewatch of the original Battlestar Galactica. Just saying. Ford Fiesta with the flux capacitor. There you go. That's hot. Yeah, so Eaglemoss, go grab yourself one. I don't know. I still got to do the review on this thing, so
I'm excited to see. Yeah.
Well,
everything is
I
out.
do like this thing because it does look like the successor to. It looks like a reimagining of the original Battlestar Galactica.
That's what they said though. They said we could do it. They go over whatever the first one was, and this was their chance. Let's make a beefier, more powerful version, but just more functional. I never quite liked the pods on the original Galactica. Actually, let me get that Galactica out.
The retractable pods?
No, the original Galactica.
Oh. See, I kind of like the retractable pod idea on the new one.
Yeah, me too.
And the fact that that's the way they snuck that thing by the producers.
It's a great
Eric
story.
Chu drew it with. Yeah, they didn't want anything, as producers do. They want to get their stank all over it. So we don't want anything that looks like the original ship. So he drew the Galactica and with the pods in, and they saw that sketch and goes, "That's perfect. It doesn't look like it." But they didn't know that the pods popped out. And that's our short version of the story. But you got to hear Eric Chu tell it.
As a big fan of the original Battlestar, I don't know, and also you're watching it right now. Is this massive line? Is this actually on the model? This massive structural point? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I don't remember it. I remember I saw it on this one, and I'm like, I don't remember that. I've got the original AMT model kit somewhere that I
Yeah.
built. I don't think it's on that. So
It really stands
that
out to me.
is, yeah, that I really don't recall. Here, let me just see if I can find a picture
Because you
here.
always see the Galactica from like this perspective. Like you never see it from the bottom.
Yeah,
You know. I mean, I can understand though if they need it for structural reasons.
for the stand. I
Yes,
don't know.
it really stands out to me as just a weird thing. It doesn't seem to fit with the design. It gives even more a flat profile. But yeah, as you said already, the obvious thing about the two is that you got the three pylons, and just the way the engines are is far more similar.
Mhm,
Just the sort of the vibe in general is sort of closer.
mhm. At first glance, you'd think it's the same ship pretty much, or just a reimagined version, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I love the painting on the back of. I haven't looked this close up yet. I love the painting on the back of the engines.
the blue,
Yeah.
yeah, looks good. Yeah, I can't find any pictures of the original Battlestar Galactica model from the bottom.
See, just it stands out really far to me. Hey guys, what do you think? Is there actually this big rail on the bottom? Any big Galactica fans out there? Because I just don't think it would. I mean, you know, it's a big thing to call out saying they did it wrong, but you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, these connecting points are really thin. They're really, really thin. So I'm not, I mean, the real miniature to film. I mean, I doubt they could hold it up. I'm gonna be honest. I guess unless they made really strong steel and stuff.
Don't you guys have a high-res 3D image of the TOS Galactica? Can't you check that? Well, it would be a fan-made one.
Yeah.
There was no actual CG model of the original.
Yeah, I mean there is
Um,
this there is there's the Eaglemoss one, these renders, but obviously that's the model they used to make it. So although I know
Yeah.
Mojo had it was supervisor that had it built, Adam Mojo Lebowitz that worked on Star Trek, but again if it's in this model, it's the same model they're printing with, them
You know,
making it with, and it is on this one.
it would be worth actually messaging Mojo and asking him about the original model. He might know more about it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he's a massive fan.
yeah, so we will do that.
Well, it's not on the concept drawing.
Well, the concept drawing always looked too sleek, like too slender to me.
The engine's awful. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. The front's cool. I like the front more, I think. But you're right, it's just too thin.
Can we see the engines? Which one? He wants you to show you the painted engines
sure.
that you were talking about because we didn't
Sure.
show that.
Well, let me do it with the other camera because that seems like a better way of showing it with the
Yes.
AUDEM resolutions.
Hello again, Captain Commander. Just back from online classes. Have you discussed the firepower of the BSG Pegasus had, which I thought was greater than the original Pegasus? Yeah, the original Pegasus didn't have a lot of firepower because it was the same as the Galactica, pretty much.
It's some manual focus on this. I mean, yeah, the Beast is just full firepower. I'm just gonna find the Skype. Pick a video. Let's find some focus.
Just trying to see if there's anything specific in here talking about the firepower.
No, the book's pretty mediocre. So as you guys can see, it's got some cool internal paint detail. Both wear and tear, but also...
It's not focusing on the model.
No,
though.
I know. I'll get there in a second. I had to do it manually.
Yeah.
But yeah, wonderful greebling. Wonderful... That's kind of where this one really shines. Because I know the miniature that Mojo had supervised is like 13 million polygons. It's huge.
Yeah.
Because everything's actually modelled in. Well, there's no like paint details. Well, I say that and I come to an orange speck, but it's really bland. That's why I kind of like the Pegasus as well. It's got a certain level of dirt and grime and...
Yeah. The funny thing with Eaglemoss models, and I noticed this because I do the reviews of them all the time, and it's like looking at them, talking about it, yeah, and it looks good, and then later when you're getting your close-up pictures for detail, once you zoom in with the macro, it's like that looks like absolute shit because it's so you're zooming in on such a small area. It just, it looks good because it's for the model size. But once you zoom in and do the macro thing, it's like, oh, some of these details are not crisp. But these are, the detailing and stuff on this is just...
Well, the 3D model is absolutely glorious on this model. I mean, again, it's based on the source. You know, and also the scale. If the scale is so big that the plates are so small. But that's the thing. I mean, they're not toys. They're not playthings. You're not meant to actually move them around necessarily. They are display models. But I mean, for the price,
you say that as I'm doing this. I started doing this, and they're not toys, and you weren't even looking at me. But I play with them like toys.
But you know what I mean, though. They're not conventional toys.
Bank right.
Oh yeah, because Battlestars can do that. Yeah.
That would be cool. Like, no.
Well, we may have a show coming up where I can do that, and you can see how odd it looks.
Instead, it's just this big lumbering, like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Well, they are battleships. I mean, although you say that, and then the classic 70s ones is like, I'm just gonna sit there and do nothing while my Vipers fire. Let's not do anything because the model shots are really expensive. Just gonna sit there and sit still.
Yeah.
And then you have the Galactica and the Adama maneuver falling down from Earth in a fireball, and it's like, well, it's doing something.
Yes.
Nice.
Gotta admit, there's a lot of gun placements on this Pegasus model.
Yeah.
But no rear-facing ones.
Well, except on the pods. It's got two.
Well,
two
yeah.
there.
True, but.
Well, I think it's very much because the engine. I mean, that entire back block is engine. So I'd assume putting. I mean, there's not even livable space per se. There, it's very internal.
I know, but even with the ones on the pod, I mean, if you're the Cylon looking to attack, there's obvious places to come in from the top and the back, and you take out their engine, they're screwed.
Well,
you would think there'd be turrets. You think there should be turrets up here that face back.
Well, to be fair, there's nothing on the bottom. I mean, if you shoot, this direction at the bottom, there's no weapon emplacements that can hit you. But that's the thing, that's what the Vipers are for. They are specifically there to defend. And obviously, if you're getting shot by missiles, then they've already got through the flak field, and that's the whole point of the flak field. And you obviously turn, I mean, same with modern, or I guess in their equivalency, like old sailing boats as well. Most of your cannons on your side, so that's how you tactically stay on the side. I mean, they can't be perfect, I mean, even the TOS Connie, theoretically no aft-facing weapons until they got torpedoes in defiant, that seems like a flaw. Obviously, Klingon ships now firing weapons again, seems like a flaw. But it's relative,
I figured the stripe color corresponded to one of the 12 colonies. Maybe. Yeah, there's so little color on these, eh? There's a little line of color, and then around the pods, and the original Battlestar is like almost no color.
Yeah, certainly. Well, it's nice to have those red accents, and I mean, some people I know have complained about the brown marks, the metal rust marks on the Pegasus. I have no problem. I think they kind of add some nice gentle accent.
It looks great.
Yeah. Like maybe the front spodge is a little bit too thick, I guess, but no, I think it adds color. It adds some character. It's like, how the hell do you color a grey ship? I've had this problem lots of times before. How do you color a grey ship? And it's just like, no, it's just like, it's so simple. I just love the fact that there's like red stripes at the front. It gives so much character,
Yeah. John Harrison puts in £2 and says, "What is the year in BSG?"
That's a spoiler, John. Sorry.
But not for the original. Not for the original, because in the original they find Earth, and it's 1980, and they have bikes, and why? Anyway, no, these And Eaglemoss has really outdone themselves, I think, with the Battlestar Galactica collection. All of these have been pretty spot on. Not much to complain about. You don't get none of these that come broken or parts misaligned or anything.
They definitely put the money where the mouth is on them, I think. A lot of the Star Trek ones. I mean, again, the model quality is super variable from custom made sort of budget ones by the team, because they can't afford to make really high end ones. From early Voyager to one-off DS9 to one-off, you know what I mean? If you use a 1997 3D model and don't bother to upgrade it, you're gonna get that. Whereas if you use the best quality 2006 model from Enterprise, it's gonna look a lot better. These models are all done. I mean, these are all hero models. That's the thing. Every single model you're looking at is all hero mesh, designed for close-ups. The Pegasus, except for these bits, which are actually Raptor landing bays, like dedicated cargo zones. Except for this one bit, and obviously the interior of the pods. Every other part of the Pegasus was built as one big high-res model. There's never sub bits built, so it could be used in close-up, long distance, super close-up, and still hold up. Except for one-off custom shots, very specific areas. And so they were built. There's that old joke where when they started Battlestar Galactica 2004, they couldn't have all the Galactica on screen at one time because the PCs couldn't cope. By the time Pegasus came around, they could keep all the Galactica on just about. Pegasus, again, they couldn't have half it on. So every part of Pegasus that wasn't in screen, they had to delete. So if you only saw the front, if you saw this angle, guess what? This pod doesn't exist in the scene, and they might be able to delete, these three engine pods, just to save and say all the guns on that side too. They just couldn't afford to keep it all in shot, and so and when they rendered both, there's 4 shots for Pegasus and Galactica actually together, and they had to do everything in multiple sub layers because they literally could not load these 2 ships in the same scene at any point in the franchise history. They were too big.
Wow.
I think I've done it once. I took all the lights off because again, if you put the lights on, it just destroys PCs. Even now, which is great. I mean, that shows how ahead of the curve they were.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought that. So now I'm going to see all these scenes differently. Hey, half that ship is missing. We can't see it.
It's really clever. It's really, really clever. Because they had to. I mean, that's the thing. There's no point having stuff in scene if it's sometimes for fan films, if we've got a fleet shot, as soon as the ship passes the camera, I take it out of the scene because the CGI software, even if it's not in the scene, it's still calculating all the light bounces and how light reacts to the objects. And so if the hero meshes, the extra one has 180 lights. If you take away that calculation, even as the background stuff, it still speeds up. And if you can see on the live now, this is the hero mesh of Pegasus, and it's lit up. I mean, just gorgeously, absolutely spectacular. And each of these lights have bounce rays and all these thought things, and it's truly amazing.
No, that's really cool, actually. Philip Ingram, €5. Thank you. BSG is the remake and really shows where Discovery should be.
Yeah.
Still, Disco Prize is perfect between NX-01 and the refit.
As in TMP, I guess.
No. I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Philip. What's perfect between NX-01 and the refit is the original Constitution class ship.
Thing is,
controversy.
Discovery is still more advanced than TMP. It's more advanced than TNG. Discovery is perfect between TNG and Star Trek Online. That's the only era it fits into, honestly.
Well, the interesting thing, I did a captain's log last week or the week before about the operations flight manual for the refit.
Right.
And on the communications station, there's a holographic display. You can have a holographic image in the middle of the bridge. That's what that dome at the top is. It's a holographic projector. You can also have a hologram projected into the briefing room. So there is holographic technology in the motion picture. It's just never used. So, and Samuel's right. Discovery is too advanced things we're seeing. But this is not a Discovery conversation. But no, you're right. This is the way they redid Battlestar was exactly what I was hoping for Discovery. Kind of a visual update, but maintain those original looks. Still have the original Constitution class cruisers in the background, Daedalus class, whatever. You can do that. I don't know why they didn't, because they don't care. But anyway, not Discovery based. Not talking about that.
Yeah, well, it's funny how as the show went on, they actually went closer and closer to the original. You know, any place they could. I mean, the fact that we got the original Cylons in the show, they could have done anything. No, they decided to actually actively use more old canon, any chance they could. You know, even so much as there's a ship called the Defender, which is in the Galactica fleet in like 7 or 8 shots, and it sort of disappears at one point. We assume it gets blown up in one of the scenes, and it's actually a ultra clever kit bash of the original Galactica. And it's literally is. I mean, it's super background. And I don't know who made it part of Zoink, but it literally is just someone had like they made a mesh of the Galactica in their spare time and kit bashed it because the engines are the same and it's way too detailed for it to be used in the show, and it is canon. It's there. And it's even in Blood and Chrome, I believe, as one of the side ships, again, because they had the mesh. And so it's even a sign that actually maybe the original Columbia, not the new Columbia, also existed because these pieces are identical. That was the point. And I will do an episode on that at some point. I don't just want to reveal it now, because, you know. Hey, unless we get $50 via Super Chats, I'll bring in a render of the Defender, and we can get Stuart's live first reaction to the TOS, Galactica TOS.
Isn't there an Enterprise in the new fleet? In one of the shots?
One of the shots. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aha.
That was
original Constitution class is canon in BSG.
When Firefly as well. She's in there too. And also the Sulaco is in the fleet in the miniseries, as is one Command and Conquer ship from the video games.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But is R2-D2 there? He was in 2 of the JJ movies.
Oh yeah, are you referring to the reference where? Oh, and do you remember the Batmobile being in Star Wars? Do you remember that reference?
The Batmobile, no.
It was for Force Awakens. J.J. Abrams was really proud in this whole video showing us the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, on the Falcon, yeah.
And it's like, great,
clever.
Thanks, J.J.
And look at the Falcon. It looks like it's supposed to. You know why? Because you respect the source material.
Although the classic, and this is from Rob Meyer Burnett, that said the reason we changed the Falcon, the new dish, is so that we can make new toys and claim copyright on that, and therefore JJ's company gets money off that. And it's like wow, that's smart,
well, that's what,
but dumb.
JJ wanted all the original TOS stuff removed from stores when his movie was coming out because he didn't want people confusing it with his stuff. And CBS basically told him to piss off because that just shows you how he thinks. I don't know.
I mean, is J.J. Abrams, though, the most overhyped, overpraised filmmaker in Hollywood?
I wouldn't say so.
Really? Who's got a bigger rep for crappier stuff than him?
Oh, for crappier stuff?
Well, think about it. I mean, Episode 7 was just remakes. There's nothing much.
What about
great.
Zack Snyder?
Yeah, but I don't think he was ever overhyped. The thing is, they were excited for Man of Steel, and they let everyone down. Or I think he let people down, and they didn't do anything good again. So he was like, oh yeah, that guy does decent movies, but he lost it straight away. Whereas even after the Star Treks, JJ was still the golden child, and even after Star Wars, he's still the golden child. Someone's brought him back for the new Star Wars, despite what he did for Episode 7. You know what I mean? He's still the golden child, despite what he's made. Despite Lost and Alias going downhill. And
hold on 1 second.
Oh, he's gone. We, my friends, can now talk. Yeah, hey.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Wow, that's disappointing.
Wow, thanks. Eugene is not disappointing. No, he's here with 1,500 rubles.
Thank
you, sir. I've seen only 1978's BSG in the 90s. Landing bays are excellent for weapons arrays, but not hangars, launchers. Fine design, though. Just saying hi.
Hello, Eugene.
Hello, Eugene.
Yeah, I don't like the shapes of these launch bays. They don't connect to me with the. The fact they go in the front looks just it doesn't seem designed. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Not I mean again this is also weird, having it slant in, but it fits very well the aesthetic of the shape of the ship.
Yeah.
These just are very like pieces. But again, that's when they tried to build it. So everything, the cleaner lines, easier, cheaper to build, and so everything's very like clean cut lines. I mean, look how flat that is. It's awful. You know what I mean? That doesn't. That's terrible because it was, real. Whereas if you look at Pegasus, I mean, everything is a altered curve, is a whatever. I mean, it's really
The one thing I'd change about Pegasus though is I would make this bottom bay extend out further at the front. So the top bay is shorter and the bottom bay is a lot longer because I don't like how it cuts. It's almost like it's misaligned. I get that, it's got the gun placements back here on these, which looks great, but extend that forward. That's one of the changes that I would make personally.
The top bay hasn't got a floor.
No, it's got no detail in it. I was looking at that.
I could see light being weirdly reflected into it, but it's like, So
if you take your phone camera or light and you shine it in there, it's decidedly lacking in quality or detail.
Well, I mean,
but you're never gonna really be looking in there, so.
I mean that. I think we're just happy it's got a hole, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I like the arrangement. I think it does feel slightly designed because the gun turrets have a natural placement. The fact that if you're flying forward, the bottom launch bays have cover. If you're flying backwards, the bottom bays have cover because the guns. So there is some functional sense. Well, the bottom bays have cover. So there is a functional reason. Especially if then you're shooting normally that way. Like I say, you have a lot of cover right here, and I think there's I never thought of it, to be honest. Odd, but it's one of those things that it's like a ship being asymmetrical. It's like why, and this is like a cool, that's why. Good reason. So I think it's like why, but it's a very specific choice, and I think it actually offsets nicely. But I mean, it'd be kind of fun. I think if we did make it like a Mercury, not even Mercury alternate, if the top bay was still a big Viper bay, but the bottom bay, which would be smaller and go out further, but would be cannons, like full length, massive, mass accelerated cannons, would be really cool.
Yeah, some kind of like rail gun design.
Yeah, or even just because that might shatter the structure of the hull. If you just replaced, all of this with just cannons, literally just flush cannons facing that way, they could all pivot. So all you have to do is do this. And then you had... That'd look cool.
Yeah, and
maybe
Brian,
OP,
you are right with the Battlestar redesign. Yes, when they went to FTL, the pods retracted. Or the bays retracted.
They did the first 3 times.
They were supposed to, yes. Obviously, it was never designed to retract on the Pegasus, though, because again, it's holding true to the original Battlestar Galactica design with the 3 connections. So,
well, that's because the newer design it didn't need the same FTL limitation, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. Jeff Jacobs puts in $3. Yay, 100 likes. I will go again at 150. We're not going to get to 150 with only 122 people watching, but thank you, Jeff. How about you go again at 110? Ha. Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2.99. Good job on 100 likes, y'all. Thank you, guys. The moderators are great. You guys are awesome. Spinal mounted railguns, like the one Pegasus has in its main body. It has what? It has railguns? I did not know that. I can't see any railguns, but then again, I don't know what they look like. So,
what was it? Was that a super chat? Sorry, or was that who said that?
It was Tizgari, whatever. Spinal mounted railguns? Question mark. Like the ones Pegasus has in its main body. I didn't know it had.
They're not railguns. No, they're not railguns. The cannons that you see everywhere, which I'm really happy they just did mini cannons. They're the same, slightly more advanced than the ones on Galactica's top, if you recall. Which, in the actual, if you actually look at Blood and Chrome, this is the retired version. It's actually meant to have cannons all the way along its spine. Rather than guns there, it's meant to have completely from there to there.
Okay.
So it's meant to have 4 times that many guns. So that's where they are in this version. They're all separated everywhere else rather than on the top. In the middle between the 2 pieces is actually missile launchers, which aren't railguns. They are just missile launchers. Really, that's kind of its super weapon. We only see them use them a couple of times, although they're a bit OP because you would assume, based on the damage you see in the show, they could wipe out the opponents pretty effectively.
Ian Warrender puts in £2. Good night. Love of Fleetyards live. Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it's fun doing a Fleetyards live every once in a while. I think we might do that occasionally.
Just need to get a certain amount of people, certain amount of super chats. We're not quite there yet, but still got half an hour to go, so that's why we do 2 hours. It's a good formula that kind of works to balance out everyone's time and effort. But yeah, it's nice because just being positive, friendly, other stuff. Although, you know, I think we'd always like a bit of Picard news because we get 400 people watching, and you know, always nice too.
Yeah, we're not going to get the same amount of viewers every time and all that, so.
No. But everyone loves Pegasus, Stuart. You know?
I like it. I think one of the reasons that I like it so much is because this is how I would have reimagined Battlestar. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is my new reimagined Battlestar. I don't care if it's not Pegasus.
Stuart, well, since the Pegasus was the Galactica in the original,
Exactly.
It's really fine. You're just retconning the Pegasus and Galactica. No, seriously, I think it beats the original out in design. It just balances out everything about it. Which, I mean, if you then, I'm looking again at the original, the new original Galactica and the Pegasus, it does kind of make you realize how, obviously organic, but how it was a different time in the era, because Pegasus is so much bulkier, so much more armored. You know, I mean, that thing is designed to take beatings, to take just guns. I mean, I would hazard to guess twice as thick armor. And for the pride of the fleet, which is meant to have thick armor, that's a compliment.
Now, these obviously aren't to scale of each other, I would assume.
No, Pegasus is quite a lot bigger. And again, watch our episodes on Fleetyards. It's substantially bigger.
Yeah. It'd be cool if Eaglemoss did a version of Battlestar that was the fully plated one.
Yeah, I guarantee they will. It's a less well-known version. Obviously, it's only in one flashback in Razor, and then in the Blood and Chrome. But it looks good. I really like it with all the armor and the big guns. It's one I hope to look at Fleetyards eventually. Magin says, has Eaglemoss done a model of the UNSC Infinity? No, they've not got a license to do Halo stuff, so they haven't, and they won't until they maybe run out of everything else, and but there's not as big a fan base for Halo.
Yeah. No, I'm really impressed with the redesigns in the new BSG for sure. I just need to sit down and actually watch the damn show.
Do you know what I might do? I might play our Pegasus episode in the window.
What? But get copyright striked.
Yes, there's assholes and
you know we should do with some of our lives is do like a premiere thing where we play the episode and chat with like director's commentary over it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And laugh at ourselves.
That's certainly doable.
Right.
And this is a good one because it has, although it'll be Inception, because it'll be our L cards inside of our L cards. We have done that before. But this is great because I did a few animations for it, and I loved the original trailer for it. Actually, I might play that first. I might play the original trailer because
original trailer was great. Because
that was my third real mesh. So I was very proud of that. And boy, I really, as someone gaining suddenly an uber powerful strong mesh, and then being like, wow, my PC was not capable of doing that, and yet I did something good with it. So I was quite pleased with what I managed to achieve with a totally substandard computer. It was only 720p. That was what makes a difference. This is March 6th, 2016 for a Fleetyards goal of 900 for Indigo. Patreon goal of 900. Although what are we at now, guys? Because we do need more Patreon support, guys. We are in ever need of support to ensure that we can keep going. What are we at, Stuart?
I'm not sure what we're at. Let me check.
So this was our trailer that I put together. I don't know if I actually I don't know when I made this. Did I make the first trailer before I even pitched you the show? To kind of like sell you on it?
Yes.
I feel like I might have.
I don't recall. Let's be fair.
Yeah. It's the first trailer that I did. I have my very old Nebula technique. I haven't watched this in a few years. Yeah. Oh, don't want to advertise that. I tried to mimic the style because why else would you do it? These are new animations of the Pegasus that I did for us in 2016. Also, just to tease you, but tease the audience. It launches some Vipers and Raptors. That was a good one. That was a fun one. This one. Although
I'm missing it all because I'm looking for this Patreon shit.
Yeah, well, the bottom's too bright. But that's okay.
Battlestar Pegasus.
Yes. That was, oh, yeah, I forgot there was another scene. Oh, yeah, I forgot that I did the planet really well for that. And then does it jump out again? It might do. It does. Just like several hours of testing to do that.
That thing looks great.
Yeah. Here's the actual episode with the cool intro I did. Which again is sort of, I always find the old stuff. It's just like laughable compared to what I can do now. And these are all fan versions, which again is fun. But I thought the TARDIS was fun. I mean, I'm sorry you're out of sync there, Stuart, so I'm talking to you as if you know, but you're not actually watching it. But I liked having the Fleetyards intro, the Fleetyards main show intro, having the TARDIS. It's kind of like the TARDIS is every time, every universe. I thought it was a natural sort of link. Inception, that's funny. Or to be fair, I can actually remove us from this equation and just have the L cards. The L cards is identical, so I just have the clips. Haha! We're not watching Cringe Us anymore. It's alright.
Oh, come on.
We're going to watch the show in a... But guys, please do watch it, because all these renders are exclusive to that episode, so don't just watch it here. Go back and watch the episode. Yeah.
Wow, my camera was yellow.
Yeah. I look great.
Hey.
Yeah, this is the first rotation I ever did, I believe. That took me 5 nights to do. So that's in scale with it compared to Columbia. And as you can see, bit of a beast. Fair to say. All of its elements are quite a lot larger. But you can see the real upscale of what they needed to do. I mean, although it's funny because the first Cylon War is with the Columbias, and so there wasn't a war between the two, and so they upscaled the battleships despite streamlining the insides as to be able to get all the extra facilities, but they didn't actually fight a war. Fight a war. So they jumped their tech up, and then all the ships got blowed up in the war. So they didn't even get to use the cool battleships in the new war.
Yeah. Well, for Patreon, we are only at 921.
Oh.
182 patrons. And we always said if we could maintain 1,000, we could keep Fleetyards going. And we just have been hovering there and then down and that,
Yes.
But yeah.
So please and thank you everyone. It all makes a big difference. That's why I clicked on that one. So yeah, that's the scale, Stuart. So we'll say, what do you think? But I mean, this is from a while ago, obviously.
Yeah. Wow, our old stuff.
Yes.
Yay.
What else is in this episode? Oh yeah, the back is always funny. Just the amount of engine power. It's kind of ludicrously tasty.
Luda who and the what nows?
Luda Crispy Tasty. Does that not make it over to your end of the pond for cornflakes from advert?
No.
Luda Crispy Tasty.
Never heard of it.
It's a thing. If you don't believe me, then you can, well, you know where you can go, Stuart. Nothing.
Ooh. Ben De Silva Grave puts in £50. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I love the work you do and always find your Trekyards videos informative. And if I want to learn more about a ship, I was wondering if you are going to do any more Babylon 5 ships. We will. Fleetyards, we're not sure exactly what's going on with Fleetyards yet, but yeah, there's definitely Babylon 5 ships we do want to look at. So, absolutely.
Yeah, we're very proud to have brought you, Ben, a lot of the HD renders of the Battlestar Galactica ships you never saw from the show. First 1080 renders was here for a lot of the stuff. And Ben, seriously, 50, that's amazing. Thank you. And it's funny, because I think I did say, if we get 50, I'll show you the other ship.
I think you did say that.
So I think, although I showed the episode as well. But let me then get you some live thinky discussion. And this is not something I've prepared in advance, it's just my archive render. So it's not like the most sexy render, but it's just what I got. Let's see, it's called the yeah, it's the okay. Oh wait, I should do it from that time folder. What am I doing? Okay, so this is the it's canon. It's in the fleet. It's there a couple of times.
Okay.
Always a background, but considering the background nature of it, it's just really, really high detail for that. So this is the Defender, and that's the name it was called in the files, for whatever reason or another. And yeah. Dum ba da bum ba da bum bum. Wait for the lag. Wait for the lag. Bum bum.
So that's the Defender, eh? Okay. Not what I pictured when you said it was kind of like using the original Battlestar to like kit bash, but that's really cool. I like that design.
Well, I mean, well, it's interesting. I know more about the ship, but really what it is these engine pods.
Yes.
Are literally the engine pods in this Defender sidewards. Every single detail is the same. I mean, almost identical. The back's identical. So it's got two classic engine pods, and then it's underneath. It's got a single pod identical to this. I'm sorry you can't see it, but it's right underneath it as a single flight pod, right in the middle. And then if you look at the front, it's got similar details to the front. Is the front here, and it's got similar greeblies. So it's using all the same elements, but in sort of a new form.
That is neat. That is neat.
Yeah, I think there's a side...
I like the single flight pod idea on the bottom. That's kind of cool.
I think there's a side view in our episode scale render, which will probably show that. Don't know. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, here it is. Let me swap back to the other screen after the ad for Betfair.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, that's Skype.
Dun, 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 dun. That's one thing I gotta say about the original Battlestar Galactica 2. The music was much more epic.
Okay. Well, epic, yeah, but I think Ben McCready's score is just beautiful. His mix of, ethnic sounding, whatever ethnic it's going to be, and modern. I think it's just the drum is just
well, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad in the new one.
Yeah.
It's just not good compared to the original one. The original one was much more epic and awesome.
So yes, there's the Defender with the side view. And again, apologies for not the back. But you can see the bottom flight pod. And you at home can also see the scale. We always like to compare to the Enterprise as well, because we all know the size of the Enterprise colony. I'm vamping for you, Stuart, whenever you're ready. Is fine.
I'm ready.
There you go. But yeah, you obviously can see how much bigger these things are, although I think, even TOS colony would have a fun time against a Galactica So yeah, you can see the underslung pod, and you can see it's the same exact design, just a bit teenier. What do you think?
It's very kit bashy now that I see it from the side.
Yep.
You can recognize the elements way easier for sure.
Yep.
But it feels like a natural part of the fleet, you know.
Yep. And it definitely makes more canon the old stuff, since the flight pods exist in the military, the engine pods exist in the military.
Yeah.
And here you can see the Valkyrie on the left, which is a teeny Battlestar. It's a nice home defense small one. Well, it's much newer than Galactica, so it's like Pegasus is a factory in space / new Battlestar. Valkyrie is a warship in space, new Battlestar, not designed for everything else. You know, it's a smaller fighter complement, but it's also got a lot of guns. Actually, a lot of guns. So, what do you guys think of the scale chart? And
that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a light carrier,
and that's
sure.
That's the thing with that fleet. You can definitely, have different versions, different sizes, different purposes for each ship.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah, works really well.
Dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, Valkyrie's that small.
The Valkyrie is a light cruiser or a light carrier, right?
I mean, there's no information about it because it was never, it was designed by the guy that built it, and it was in a couple of shots with no information about it. It's one of those classic things of, all that canon. Yeah, I mean, this is like the only shot it's in, this one shot in the show, so it's not really not well featured, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I would ask you, who did Kane better, classic one or new one? But it's not fair since you haven't seen the new one.
Well, obviously the original one, because it was a guy. Oh, I was just kidding. Adama would be a better question. I like Lauren Green. I like the original. But the new one, he's kind of badass. So I have to go with the new one for Adama.
Yeah,
he's got that protect my people kind of vibe, whereas Lauren Green was more relaxed and subdued. He wasn't a military guy really per se. I don't know. It's a totally different vibe for Adama.
Yeah. Well, one. I mean, just the Edward James almost brings so much power, charisma, control. He reeks of leader. You would. I mean, if that guy walked up to you in the street and said, "Come on, me, we have to do this," you'd be like, "Yes, sir." Like, you wouldn't even hesitate, would you? Some people could. Same with Patrick Stewart. If he walked up and said, "Stewart, we're doing this," you're like, "Okay, what?" Whereas if the guy that played Frodo, say, came up to you and said that, you'd be like, you know what I mean? Some people you trust them. And I've met the guy, actually. I had a great picture with him. You get a few seconds at most, 5 seconds. And so I asked him, "Can you do the he kind of does a military pose?" Because I like doing, not just the arm around the shoulder, like everyone does that. It's too friendly because you're not, when you see him do that in the real show life. So I said do a pose, because then at least he's trying to sort of harness the character, because I like the character, obviously. So I want to, and that I quite liked, because we're both like looking professional, and he had a beard though. That's okay.
And no, I won't be surprised when I see Ensign Rowe in Battlestar Galactica. I've already seen some clips of her.
She is superb.
Yeah, probably better than Low, or because I can't stand her in TNG.
I would say she's much better than Rowan Laren in TNG.
Okay, good.
But she's only in a little bit, because the whole sad thing about her. But Pegasus, she gets her real comeback, and she does a great job.
Lauren Green equals Space Mayor. Kinda, yeah. I think we see the true pure aggression in the new BSG as compared to the original. The new is down and dirty, and the new one is more realistic, I would say, especially after considering what has happened. The original one's kind of too upbeat, but
yeah, everyone we've ever known is dead. So what have we seen then? Let's play with this little dog thing.
Why? Hey, he was awesome, actually.
Was he though?
Yeah, it was a chimp in a suit. I dug out my old toy. There he is there. Hey, Muffy. It's awesome.
I don't know. I just it's sad when you're a kid and you're watching something designed for kids. You're like, that's lame. As a kid, you know that it hasn't
I
quite
didn't
worked.
think it was lame. I thought it was awesome when I was a kid.
I know.
That's why I had the toy.
But
And
I'm
there was a
saying
monkey in it. There was a monkey in it, which makes it even cooler.
pretty interesting. So I'm glad they had him in the new show for like 2 episodes. I'm like, nope, that's not gonna work. Nope, we're not gonna do that. Nope. But a nice reference. A nice reference. What's it again? Boxy? Is that the kid's name?
Boxy is the kid's name, yes. Muffet is the dog's name. The Daggett's name. Daggett.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I've got a original Cylon toy somewhere too. I just don't know where it is, but I did find my Muffet.
Did you ever see the Second Coming, the Richard Hatch proposed reboot of BSG? Well, sequel, I guess. The trailer.
I've never watched the whole thing. No, I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, it's never been released. That'd be why.
Well, yes.
What do you think of the trailer when you saw it?
Loved it. Would have liked to have seen it be a thing.
That was pretty much self-funded by Richard Hatch as well.
Mm-hmm. Love that he was in the new BSG, whereas Starbuck wasn't. Don't know what they had against Dirk. I like Dirk. Dirka.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, he had a good part. I don't remember his name is in the new show.
Who? Richard Hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he did have a good role for sure.
And as we've seen his first episode, where he's actually in the prison ship. That's a really good episode.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really gritty, and some nice CG as well, where they build a really high res part of that model. Yeah. Yeah, Battlestar's a weird show because it hits some amazing 10 out of 10 moments, and then it has some weird side steps that, you could see they didn't quite know where they were going, and so they made some odd left turns, so they went with the flow. Whereas season 1 is a very structured start, middle, end, and it's very cohesive, it's very strong. And then you got another season. Also great. And then they decided to do something radical, which then changed season 3 radically, and then season 4 doesn't quite hit the same place, and it also escalates. Well, I think the last episode's really good. But some of the stuff lets it down a little bit. But it's a very sad last episode. And I got really sad watching it live, actually. And we just got Sky One back, and I watched it, and I was like, this is the end of that road. And I was sad because it's funny. I remember that was, for some reason we didn't have Radio Times, which is the magazine, to see what shows come out next week, and I was watching it with my old phone or whatever, my watch, and I got to 58 minutes. I'm like, they haven't resolved any of the story. What? And then it kept going. I'm like, oh, it's longer than an hour. I don't know. And then the net break stops, and it comes back. I'm like, this is an hour and 10 now. Hour and 20, and I kept going, and I was like, why is this going still? Well, it's never going to end, is it? I literally thought that. It's never going to end. They're going to keep showing it. And then it ended. But it's a long episode. Yeah. That was a fun
you need a hug? Did you need a hug?
At the end, I was sad. Yeah. There's also a great 15-minute non-stop soundtrack music, which is one battle in 3 parts, and it's literally non-stop. And the song's so good. It's cool. I don't remember what it's called.
Well, Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Thanks, sir.
And says, "Damn, the Connie looks like a hummingbird compared to the Battlestars."
Yes.
Yeah, the Constitution class is small. JJ's wouldn't be, but
no.
And Greg Can puts in $2 Australian.
Thank you.
Love the fan service in the remake. Boxy killed in episode 1. Oh, Boxy gets killed in episode 1. I must have missed that.
Well, not killed, just not back. Just wasn't important for the show. Also, they didn't know the miniseries first, and then the show, so they retooled a few things going forward.
Yeah. It's the same with, I was watching the, like I said, the original, and there's the original movie, and then there's the start of the series, which is the original movie, broken up into episodes, but with extra footage for the series. Some interpersonal things with Starbuck and Athena and stuff like that wasn't in the movie part. So it was kind of odd because I started watching the series and I'm like, I just watched this, and it's like, wait a minute, that scene doesn't look familiar. So it's funny the way they did it, but
so they kind of cheap. Basically, they uber menageried it. They kind of like, well, we've only got this much footage, and we've got to make 10 episodes. Well, shit.
Oh no, it's just like the first 2 episodes of the new series is the movie.
But it's not a new series. It's just basically
I know.
They made a 2-hour pilot and then just kept going as a series. So basically, you should just ignore the movie because it's not a movie. It's just the first 2 episodes. Just watch season 1.
Yes, just watch season 1. Go back and watch the movie later.
So I'm sure I'd get annoyed if I then had to rewatch 3/4 of the same footage again with different pacing.
I did, yeah.
Because
I kind of fast forwarded through.
You're getting bored and waiting for it to end, and now the pacing of the show is ruined. Whereas if you're watching it as the episodes, and that's actually interesting. I know it was a bit weird how it was all set up. Because I only got 1 season, and yet the season is also broken up in weird ways.
Boxy does appear in season 1 when Starbuck is talking to the pilots in the briefing room. Other than that, he only appears in deleted scenes and does not reappear again.
Yeah, it's like episodes 1 to 3. But I'm sure that was filmed pretty soon after the pilot. What?
OG movie was great in cinema, almost as good as Star Wars. Look, I was 5. Okay, actually, the effects are really good. Just the problem with watching the series is they recycle the same effects over and over and over again. Yeah. But the effects are actually pretty well done for the time, and they are Star Wars like.
Well, it was a lot the same team that did them.
Yeah, but I don't remember the original movie being in cinemas. I mean, I would have been 4 or 5 at the time because it came out in '78, right?
Did they even have direct to TV movies? Like, there's no DVD.
Well, they had TV movies, yes. But
big scale though.
Yeah, that I don't know. That's why I'm surprised that somebody said cinema there, because I didn't know it was in the cinema.
But maybe they did a season and said, hey, this first 2 is pretty cool. Let's make a movie out of it and do a limited theatrical run to try and get more money out of it, and just we'll cut down the first 2 episodes. Because which is it, chicken or egg? Is it they made a movie and then continued the season? Or did they made the movie
first and then made the series, I think. I think that's how it worked out.
And they filmed new scenes around it, or they used deleted scenes for the first one?
I think they used deleted scenes because they were kind of killed the pacing of the movie. Yeah. But in an episode format, they work better because they're more interpersonal stuff. Because there's some weird stuff with when Starbuck meets Cassiopeia. Mm-hmm. There's this weird Athena thing going on that you're kind of like hit out of the blue with when you're watching the movie. But when you're watching the broken up into episodes, they've already addressed the Athena Starbuck relationship. So the Cassiopeia thing coming in makes a whole ton more sense. So it's like they cut those scenes out of the movie to kind of just cut down the movie length time. But then when it went to the episodic format, they just put them back in. So
that's really hard to say though, because obviously you watched it one after the other. But what do you think you enjoyed more as a story, the movie or the first 2 episodes? Which format do you think worked better as a single piece of media?
That's actually tough because the pacing of the movie is pretty good. It doesn't really get boring at any time. So if you want the action, the movie's better. But if you want more of that, getting to know your characters and getting that more interpersonal stuff, then I would say the episodes for sure, because there's more behind the scenes with the characters kind of thing.
Is the movie / first episodes the one where they actually randomly find that like bar planet with the desert?
That's the second part of the movie, which feels like an episode, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the movie itself is kind of in that regard. Like the first half is really good, the Cylon attack and all that, and then they find this place and they're looking for fuel and food and stuff, and it's just like it kind of kills it a little bit. It feels like it was designed to be episodic. So it's like they knew the series was going to be a thing, or they were trying to get it.
It's such easily a Googleable thing, like making of BSG 1976. We're having fun talking bullshit about it. You know, we're talking Pegasus new one, and we can go back and talk nonsense about the first one. You're learning it with us. not learning at all. That's how you learn.
Well, we got people watching us. I mean, they're obviously not bored.
Brian says yes, it was in the cinema.
Maybe. Well, that's weird. That's weird, man. I didn't know that. That's cool. I would have liked to have seen this on the big screen because, like I said, the effects are really well done. I just hate that they recycle them over and over and over again for the series. They mirror them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always weird with reusing any shot, especially with Orville. Like, I don't get annoyed by it, but knowing how cheap and easy VFX are, if you're just doing simple flybys, it's weird to see the same shots again and again. And that first episode of season 2 was just literally just reused season 1 flybys, and like, good, this is a waste of a shot. And then there's an episode, I think it was the one, maybe the porn one, where they actually use the same flyby twice, one at like 3 minutes and one at like 38, and I'm like, use the same flyby in the same...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's too far. You can't use the same flyby twice in the same episode. That's uber lazy, because you have quite a large plethora of things. Even to the point of going back to the scene files of like a season 1 like special one with the planet, just take out a planet, You can't use the same shot twice in an episode. That's real lazy. That's scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of budget. Like, you can't do that.
Rob, that's not nice. He says, no, I'm bored. This is a pity watch. That's awful.
Oh.
But Eugene puts in 750 rubles to cheer us up, I guess. So I've checked Russian Eaglemoss. Yes, there is one, which is unordinary. For the first time in 3 years, they've got a stock update. Finally going to get myself the 1701E, the XL one. Fantastic ship, by the way. Thanks for the mod. Thanks to the mods for the hint.
Nice.
Thank you, moderators, and thank you, Eugene, for letting us know. Yeah, the XL 1701E was one of the first Eaglemoss ships that I did a review on, and it still holds up. It's a pretty fantastic ship and model.
Nice. Yeah, that's one I asked for a while ago. I still haven't got the...
Oh, really?
Because I still want the, not Bandai, what's the other one? The Polar Lights? Is that it? The Big E?
Well, there's the Bandai one is the one you'd want if you want one that lights up and is snap together, but it's super expensive.
Yes.
And Polar Lights, you'd have to be a model builder because you have to paint it and all that.
No, yeah, he's just a very good display ship, I think.
Yes. Yeah, my buddy Mike, the guy that designed Terrorbird, he has the Bandai. Yes, he has the Bandai one of the Enterprise E, and it's great. I've got the refit and the NX-01 Bandai, but I don't have Enterprise E and I don't have Voyager. Voyager is like $700 now for the Bandai one. Its cost just keeps going up because it's such a great model. It's got little landing gear you can put on. It's got articulating nacelles and everything lights up. It's a fantastic model, but it's super expensive if you look it up on eBay. It's ridiculous. Wow. The Enterprise E is not quite as much. I think it's like $500 to get the Bandai one now, but...
Well, that was a golden time of Trek in general, and making Trek and doing cool things. Yeah.
Buck Rogers was also naughty about using space battle footage. Yes, well, Buck Rogers came out after Battlestar Galactica was canceled and used some of the same sound effects, some of the same props, and was not as good of a show. Rogers was just kind of more childish, I guess. It wasn't as serious as Battlestar Galactica was. And
which says something.
I was watching Buck Rogers a little while ago. I didn't finish season 1 yet. But now comparing it to Battlestar, I much prefer Battlestar. I don't know why Battlestar got canceled after one season. I think it really needed to have more time to kind of prove itself, but it is what it is.
I mean, like Firefly. There's no reason Firefly should have cancelled. First season's...
That was just stupidity.
Yeah. It's just ratings. Just they screwed them over in so many different ways, and it's like, is there even anything wrong with the first season? You know what I mean? It's just such a good season of television. It's weird. Sad. Sad. And so I'm glad we got 4 seasons of BSG, although, like I say, season 4, bit of a disappointment overall. but it also ended on its own terms, which can be good. You know, the idea of not
Mm-hmm.
going beyond your own story. That's why Game of Thrones is kind of nice. They're ending in their own way. It's like, well, we only need one more season. Cool. Yes, we're going to do 6 only, but make them all feature-length-ish. It's like, we're going on our own terms. There's 6 more stories to tell. Or chapters, I should say. Each with their own sub-story and a bigger story. It's like, not that I've seen the full season, but Dark Matter, which was a show based on the Stargate people after Stargate, they had a 6-7 season arc planned, because going in, I think it is very important to have
a plan.
Yeah, to have a grander arc, because then you connect things. I mean, we were watching Game of Thrones season 1 this last weekend. I know it was all based on books, and they knew where they were going. They knew, but it's absolutely incredible to watch we watched 6 in a weekend. And it's really amazing how, this is Game of Thrones discussion now, how every internal reference, just like this character or this sect, once you've seen all the seasons, you know all the players. And they're real references to real things that come up. Nothing like in Star Trek or Star Wars, they say, just like this random painting you've never heard of, or just like this random mechanic you've never heard of, or this alien race we invented for 2 seconds, But in Game of Thrones, everything, like 99% is a real reference. And so I was rewatching, like, damn, that's this guy's dad. That's this. It feels so much more solid than I even thought it could be. I was just fundamentally blown away by how connected it is, even from the first episode. Whereas the first time you watch it, you don't know any of the names, so it falls on deaf ears. But if you know it all, and that's the sort of thing. You have this massive arc, you plan,
But then you got to make sure you survive long enough in the ratings, so you don't get canceled and have your story just hang. Exactly. And Enterprise, at least Enterprise had warning, so they kind of wrap things up the last half of the season to kind of put in the main story points they wanted to hit, and did a pretty good job of it. But yeah, if you know you're getting canceled, it's a different thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think what shows are good when they only know this season by season. I think Stargate is pretty good because they never had arcs per se. I mean, obviously the Ori arc, they had sort of sub arcs, but especially earlier on, there was season by season, and that was always good. So you can still have fun episodic. Obviously, Trek, the Voyager didn't have many arcs per se. Obviously, they had some vague stuff, but it was mostly episodic. And that was fun. You didn't plan what was going to happen in season 6. Although, would it have been Voyager's benefit? Even if, same budget, they couldn't destroy the ship or whatever. But if they'd said, right, season 2, we're going to introduce this. Season 4, this. Season 6, this. Then a final season, we're going to have this epic showdown. Would that have been... Even if it's not necessarily, arcs, but they knew where the characters were going to go. If they'd planned 7 seasons of rough story, would that have been better, do you think? Than just season
I think so. Because that's one of the problems that Voyager suffers from, is the episodic nature of it. Because like I said, something major happens to a character and then the next week it's just forgotten. Whereas that would cause major issues for that person for a long time to deal with. Sure, certain things get referenced again, like the phage and stuff like that, but it's very, very loose,
It's when we
it could have definitely... Yeah. It could have definitely done with some more overarching stories and character developments, like Battlestar Galactica, for example. Just seeing the characters deal with this journey they're on, which is exactly like Voyager. It would have been better to have done that way for Voyager. I'd like to see Voyager redone in that way. That'd be cool.
That's what I said this before. Voyager was ahead of its time in terms of concept. If it had been made, if that concept hadn't been done yet, and was the Discovery concept, how much more gritty do you want than one Starfleet ship in the middle of nowhere with no support, limited ship, limited funds, limited resources? That's the most modern, gritty show you could possibly want. Okay, it was already done in BSG, but BSG was based on Voyager. He just did it his own way. He took existing property and did Voyager again, but obviously the way he wanted to do it. That's the great fun of it. He had all these ideas that he had, and he just saved them for BSG. Cool, good for I'll do more. But I don't just mean, obviously we want characters that remember things, but just as simple as saying, 2 years of Kazon, 3 of Borg, 2 of Krenim, just a sense of it builds would have been fun, I think.
It would have been more interesting to see in the Star Trek universe, to see the Starfleet, Janeway trying to cling to her ideals when everything was stacked against her. We kind of got a few tastes of that, but not this wore down captain that has just been trying to get home and get her people, help them survive and still maintain that Federation, training and idealism. It would have been, I think there's a lot of possibilities there.
It's funny, they had a concept, but they didn't understand what it took to realize the concept. That's the joke. The concept needed the darkness, but they wanted just to use it for we can explore a new part of space. It's a double-edged sword. They just ignored the second half of the sword,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I still think Voyager's still pretty good, like the season changing and the different things. I think it's still, I like Voyager a lot. Whereas Enterprise, I think, doesn't get going for a while. But I kind of like Doug's approach, though. If that would have been a season plan, it would have been actually, because again, you don't look at Enterprise and say they didn't plan any of their seasons. Season 1 was something, season 2 was that again, but better. Suddenly 9/11 happened, they made season 3 out of that, and then season 4 happened, they planned 6 stories. There you go. Whereas Doug's idea would have been, a year on Earth, then a year of Vulcan, and something else. It would have actually had this sort of build arc, which would have been cool. Like, you would have assumed with the Temporal Cold War, you'd say, right, first year we're going to do this, lead up. Second year this. Third year, fourth year payoff. Like, surely you're building Temporal. Even, and again, I like pitching new things, but you could have had, like, part of your season 3 arc was to go back in season 1. Because Temporal Cold War, will undo episodes from season 1.
It's been 2 hours. We got to get going.
Yes. So, yeah, final super chat, guys, and we can pop off for the night. Who wants to be that wonderful chapette, young, old, anything. If you hate the Pegasus, we'll take it.
By all means, check out the Eaglemoss link and go pick yourself up some Eaglemoss ships. And try the discount code Trekyards at checkout. Maybe it'll work for you for these. I don't know.
Will it still work if you put like 7 normal ones and 1 special? Will it still discount the 7 and just not discount the other one?
Yes, it's supposed to. Yes.
Yeah. So add it to your cart and buy more stuff too. And I'm sure then would you get cheaper postage with us if you're saving money overall, do you think?
That's a good question. I don't know.
So I'm asking tricky questions here that we've never thought of.
Yes.
I don't know. But yeah, and then Stuart will see you back on Thursday night for his first reaction. With your cool...
Tomorrow, yep.
Yep, with your cool El Kazi thing. And then we'll jump on Friday. That's the day after. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, you did, yeah. It's funny, we'll be back on Thursday. Well, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's funny, it's already Thursday for me, so I say that, and it's already that day for me, so...
I know, it means you're crazy.
Yeah, but I have I don't know. I have I have a weird time zone existence with where and who I live, and I'm time zone dysphoric or whatever.
Yes. Anyway, guys.
Guys, come on. $1. $1. $1. $1. $1?
Do we have $2? $2. $2.
That's how betting works. So it's going to keep going up.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess my closing thoughts on the Pegasus. Like I say, I absolutely gush over this model. I think it's a beautiful miniature. And this is one that I had massive expectations for. This is the only one I really wanted, and they hit them. I mean, I opened it not knowing exactly what I wanted. Like I knew it had to be great, but this just, it has the right balance of big and small and detail and not detail and paint. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. I'm excited to put it on my desk and just have it next to me. So I hope they do a Stargate collection so I can have a Daedalus of a roughly similar quality would be nice. Because those ships I'd certainly like to have in... That's the nice thing about Eaglemoss. They're not necessarily the best quality. I mean, certainly with the window misalignment is just absolutely awful. But the price, the range, and the high end given all of them.
Diversity.
Diversity, yeah. And obviously they're based on all real 3D models. I mean, you can't get better.
And Fleetpaw Swiftpack puts in $1.99 and says, me. He's the last one.
You.
So,
All right.
but
And we'll, I guess you'll see him tomorrow, and we've got one more
see you guys
video
tomorrow.
coming out. And yeah, good night all. So it's going to be a BSG joke, but I can't think of one. So bye, Stuart. Bye.
Bye, guys. So say we all.
There you go. Damn it.